time. Maybe, maybe this could be the start. Maybe this will be a spark. Maybe this could be the start of something. Maybe this could be the day. Maybe it'll stay the same. Maybe this could be the start of something.
Well, hey, everybody.
Good morning, good
Calling.
morning, good morning.
Good morning. I am excited to be here this morning. I always say I'm excited to be here. And I think I'm just excited to probably have conversations with people that I love. And today, happy hump day. I am here with the beautiful Natalie Allen, an amazing powerhouse. I would say, I do say that you are a powerhouse, powerful woman of God, powerful therapist, powerful mom, wife, just power impacted. And I'm just grateful for you joining me and having a conversation today about mental health for our Mental Health Awareness Month conversations. And I don't have my coffee today because we're on the run, but and I'm sure your schedule is crazy. But normally this is a coffee and connections conversation, and I usually have my cup of coffee. But today we're gonna just have conversations, and the coffee has to go at a different time, if that's
Absolutely.
okay. But
Absolutely.
just introduce yourself for everybody.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I am Natalie Allen. I am the clinical director over at Charisma Therapy Associates located in Flossmoor, Illinois. I am a master's prepared clinician, a certified trauma therapist, certified grief therapist, certified EMDR facilitator, which is a form of trauma therapy. And yes, wife, mother, friend, sister friend, all the things. And I'm here, happy to be here,
Well,
excited.
thank thank you. I'm just grateful you joined me in this conversation. And I entitled this to this morning, our conversation, Taking Off the Mask. And I know that our church has something coming up called Unmasked Mental Health Awareness, Mental Health Conference. And I'm tying in double conferences because there's another one.
Mhm.
But anyway, and I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about taking off the mask. And what that looks like in regards to people. And I know, me personally, I am that person that will the word faith it till I make it. Not
Mhm.
fake it till I fake it till you make it, but faith it is the new terminology. And not that wearing a mask, but really having to keep it moving regardless. And I'm the queen of going to therapy because I believe of Jesus and therapy. But I just wanted to know, what do you think taking off the mask looks like for people?
First thing that comes to mind is slowing down enough to recognize we may be wearing a mask. You mentioned that we just have to keep it moving, but the reality is that it's difficult to sustain that level of go, do, and multitask without taking time to slow down and do that check in with self and discern, like, what are you really experiencing? What is behind the go, the do, and begin to assess why we might be engaged in certain activities. Are they led because of responsibility and duty? Are they assignments that God has given us? Or are they things that we have chosen to place on our agenda to
Mm,
do, saying that it's God led, saying that they are necessary responsibilities? So slowing down.
slowing down. So that would be number one. Taking off the mask requires you to slow down and I guess acknowledge that you are just moving, moving, moving. Well, I know that the mental health has become more prevalent in terms of people taking the initiative to get the help that they need or talking about it. The stigma has really kind of you know gone away just a smidge.
Mhm.
I got a cup of coffee. Love, love. Thank you. I'll say this that what do you think has been the common denominator of people actually starting to break the stigma of talking about mental health?
Burnout and fatigue.
Ooh.
The reality that these are some things that we think we ought to do, but we're breaking down physically, we're burning out emotionally, mentally, even with regard to our careers, right? I think that is, and then access to information. Social media is really big now. And so people have the ability, common people, we don't just have to have a title, right? To have a platform. So the common layperson can post something about what their experience is, and that thing can go viral.
Mm, mm. You talked about burnout and fatigue, and I think that is really, really good. And I know that after the pandemic, mental health became really it just was a larger platform for it. And I'll say this, our children and the next generation, they're not afraid to actually call it out, to say, I'm not good, or it's become prevalent that they're going to take it as a mental health day, or take it as, I'm struggling in my mental health, and not ashamed. And I feel like sometimes it's even to a point where they're saying it to use it as an excuse
Mhm.
to get by. But what do you think is endorsing that part? Like they're using it as a and it may be real in some areas. How can you identify when it's real and when it's not? That's
When so I believe I know what you're talking about, but I think you can identify it when I think the individual, all they do is talk about it, and there isn't any actual movement towards productive change. We get to share what we think, how we feel, acknowledge that with ourselves, share it with the world around us in a respectful way, but then how are we going to cope with the reality, right? It's not enough to just say, I'm hurting. It's not enough just to say, I have an issue or concern with addictions. I have an issue or concern with my mouth. I have an issue or concern with relationship, and I'm going to cut people off. It's, what am I going to do to cope in a relatively healthy manner, right?
mm,
So, and recognizing that just because we're assertive in that way, we have to take the next step. The other part of assertiveness is the coping, because the world can still tell you no. The world is not going to change simply because you've made a statement. The
mm,
world is not going to change, and you can't force people to change, right? We can't control others. And we can't control the external things that happen in the world, but we can change how we cope with our realities. And I think a lot of people, the deception is that it's enough to make a statement, and then the world will fantastically, miraculously change simply because you've made a statement. If you have a right to share what you or have a thought, have an opinion about it, and then share it, then other people have the same thoughts, in rights. It's their right, right? But they also have a right to say no to what you want, because you have a right to say no, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's about also changing and not just making a statement. What are we going to do about it? If there is something that we can do to cope, right? Not to control, but to cope.
So that would be a part of taking off the mask then, to
Yep.
do something about it and not just stay stuck. Be assertive to make the changes and not just talk about your pain, but to actually do something about it. So that's another way. Slow down and then be assertive to do something about it,
Hmm.
and to make the change if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling fatigued, and not just talk about it. And I do know this. I've been guilty as charged when people say, "How are you doing?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm
Hmm.
tired. Oh, I'm tired." And it's like, well, you always tired. Well, what are you doing about your tiredness, right? What are
Hmm.
you doing to but that's still not. So let me just go back to, that's still not masking
Hmm.
my exhaustion. It's still not because I'm being open about it. What
Hmm.
does masking look like? Where we have to literally take off the mask. What are some of the things we could do to do that?
So, leaving the mask on or wearing a mask, right, may look like everything is on fire and you're smiling and saying, "Oh,
Okay,
it's
okay.
okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." But really, what you're doing is either ignoring what you're feeling and thinking internally. And for some people, that then turns into somatic complaints, increased
Mhm.
headaches, that fatigue that's lingering. Some hormonal concerns can begin to happen for some people, or hormonal concerns can lead to that. But just really being very surface with yourself with regard to how you feel, and not acknowledging how you're coping, either productively or unproductively. And I think when we're coping unproductively, we tend to wear the mask, and we tend to say everything is fine, especially as people of faith. We can experience negative or unproductive thoughts and feelings and still have faith that God will work things out, as we're still acknowledging to him or with
You need to
him.
say that again. We can still have what? Unproductive?
Thoughts and feelings, meaning sadness, deep sadness, frustration, or anger, experience thoughts that provoke anxiety, feelings of anxiety, right? And still have those sorts of thoughts and feelings, still acknowledging that to God, and still saying that we have faith. Being a disciple of Jesus, being a Christian, Big C Church, does not, it saves our soul, but it doesn't exempt us from the human condition. We are still
Mm.
flesh and blood, right?
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
and there are ways to begin to cope. And the Bible tells us that there are ways that we can cope. I think the other part of that, and I want to make sure that I answer both parts of your question. So that's what it looks like wearing the mask, right? And so beginning to remove the mask, slowing down a little bit, being accountable to what you might be experiencing, right? Recognizing that you can't control people. There are certain circumstances you cannot control or change, but how can you cope in a more productive manner versus being gripped and stuck by anxious feelings or thoughts, being gripped, stuck, ruminating in anger, deep depression, sadness, things like that. And recognizing when you've reached maybe a certain level of coping, that you've done all the things that you can do, and now you need professional support and assistance, right?
Yeah.
So with mental health, we will often minimize our um, psychological pain, our thoughts emotionally, that are intense, and we kind of minimize it and say all is well, it's fine, but we're crying while we're hurting at the same time. And we chalk it up to we're excuse me, we can just pray harder. We can just dig our heels in a little bit deeper. Many people refuse to take the steps to find a therapist outside of their friend group, outside of their church home, right? And even refuse maybe to seek medication support, either with their primary care or with a
Mhm.
psychologist, or that can write prescriptions, or a psychiatrist that can also write, excuse me, prescriptions for medication. So there's a lot there.
Yeah, there is a lot there. And guess what? We don't have time to unpack it all today. But what I do want to say is that take the mask off and take some time to slow down. Acknowledge your burnout, as Natalie has shared with us. Acknowledge your fatigue. Acknowledge that you're just functioning and saying, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good." And take the accountability to go and seek therapy and go and talk to someone. And that is so important. And I do it. I kind of get emotional about it because I realize that, um, and we always say this, and I didn't clone it, but every therapist needs a therapist, every counselor needs a counselor, every teacher needs a teacher, everybody needs someone. You know, the scripture tells us in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And truly, sometimes you need to go and sit and be still and allow your thoughts to come out so that you can get wise counsel. And I'm very appreciative for you, Natalie. And I wanted you to tell us a little bit about Charisma Therapy and Associates.
Mhm. Charisma Therapy Associates is a group of counselors. We work, excuse me, right now, we don't have very many people coming in person, but we do offer in person support as well as telehealth support to adults ages 18 and up, men and women of various backgrounds and socioeconomic backgrounds. We do have a self-pay option, but we also receive insurance as well. So if you're interested in seeking support from us, you can go out to charismatherapy.org is the website, complete an intake form for us, and then we'll get in touch with you and and do a 15-minute free consultation to see what's the next best step for you. Some people, that next best step is individual therapy, and some people need a slightly different level of care. And we're willing to offer that support and do our best to point you in the right direction.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We definitely want you all to reach out to Natalie for charisma therapy and charisma therapy associates. Okay. And go to charismatherapy.org and you can reach out and we definitely know that there is fruit that comes from this ther- therapeutic office. I'll say that in many facets, right? And also we are joining our church, Disciples Church, with the Unmasked Conference, and I wanted to talk for us to talk about that a little bit. What can we expect at the Unmasked Conference, Natalie? Can you share a little bit?
Absolutely. We have teachings for clinicians as well. It's a 2-day conference, but we also have support from or for the average layperson as well. So there is an option for teens to be able to attend. I believe the age is 16 years and up, as well as their parents, adults, men and women. And you can expect support, education, and insight, not just from a clinical perspective, meaning folks that are licensed to offer mental health support, but also are Christians, as well as there are some teaching there from people who are leadership in the church, Big C Church. And so it's an
I love
exciting
that you say
time.
that, Big C Church.
Big C Church, yeah, absolutely. There are individual sessions that will be there. There will be an experience session section there. We were going to have the hero truck that will be there. People will be talking about mother wounds and father wounds and unmasking in the church, right? And what that looks like for us. So it's going to be a great time. The dates are the 29th and 30th. It's a Friday and a Saturday at the end of this month, beginning at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's chock full of good, solid information from, again, a clinical perspective as well as a biblical perspective. I'm not going to say Christian, I'm going to say biblical perspective.
That's
You're going to
good.
get some true word there. You're going to get fellowship there as well as networking opportunities. And we'll have a handful or ton of vendors there as well. The hero truck is for ages 18 and up. That is so important for parents these days. The hero truck will help parents identify places and spaces in a child's or adolescent's room where they may be hiding paraphernalia. Right now, with cannabis being legalized in the state of Illinois, it's not legalized on a federal level. People are able to purchase these products at gas stations. And when I say people, I'm also talking about teens. If you got cash, you are able to go and get these products. The issue is that it's not regulated. And so people are consuming some things that they ought not consume, and it's impacting them in their mental health, or excuse me, mental disease, and they're experiencing audiovisual hallucinations, but also in their physical body. People's lungs are collapsing because they're consuming, they're intaking these vapes and their oils, right? Our lungs, God created our lungs to intake air, oxygen, not oil. So it'll be an amazing time. It's an annual conference. Please come out. We would love to have you.
Thank you so much. Unmasked, May 29th through May 30th. If you don't want to miss it, cancel. You don't want to miss the Unmasked Conference. It will be at Disciples Church in Tinley Park, 6363 183rd Street. You don't want to miss it. It's a 2-day conference. CEU hours are available for all clinicians and healthcare professionals. We have amazing speakers, amazing clinical therapists. Our own Natalie Allen will be there and on duty. Okay, so we want you all to reach out. Register today. The registration, we will put it in the link after we complete this, but reach out, join us. We do still have, I believe we still have opportunity for people that are resources for resource tables, but definitely come out, and we are excited about that. And I want to say thank you for this conversation today. Before we leave, I have one more thing to talk about that is coming up this coming Friday, May 22nd. if you are a pastor, a leader, a counselor, a therapist, a teacher, a mom, a dad, whoever you are, our Show Up Recovery Compassionate Care, which equips leaders to respond to addiction, emotional crisis, and mental health. We will have our pastors and leaders and people roundtable. Okay, it is hybrid this coming Friday. I will be hosting it, and there is a virtual option, and we want you all to reach out to us if you are interested in our HLM Recovery, Show Up Recovery roundtable to really talk about what's needed within the body of Christ in order to have the compassionate to care, but also how to respond and who to get the information to so people can get the help that they need, because we are not equipped sometimes, and the our state of Illinois is equipping people with congregational care certifications to let you know how to respond in the face of any form of substance use, addiction, or even mental health journey. So reach out to us for that as well. Natalie, are there any last words you can offer someone just to really take off the mask?
It is a position of strength to seek support and help, not a position of weakness. If there was something going on with your kidneys, with your liver, with your heart, you would go and seek out a professional. You would not attempt to diagnose yourself on Google. You would not attempt to seek support and instruction from your peer groups when it comes to your heart, your kidneys, or your liver. You would go to a professional. So again, it's a position of strength. Take that next best step. It's okay to be sick and tired of being sick and tired to the point where you actually do the work. And when you get there in front of that clinician, you might have some thoughts and feelings about it. Do the good work anyway. Finish strong.
Finish strong. Take
Mhm.
off the mask, everyone. Go get some therapy and finish strong. Thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you coming. I really appreciate all you do just to be who you are in the earth and all God has called you to be professionally and spiritually. It really makes a difference. All right, until next time, remember May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Reach out to us for all your mental health needs, because we are definitely the resource to get you to the source. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Maybe